man of peace. Yo, simplyshredded.com forums. How you guys doing? Matt here, and I told you guys I was going to make a video for you to kind of answer all your questions, so I'm going to do that right here. I'm looking at the thread right now. I just want to thank everyone who's commented on it. I think it has like 60 or 70 comments in this thread that I'm in, or that I started, so I just want to thank everyone for participating. Thanks Tony for the opportunity, and thanks simplyshredded.com. So first person was Alex Mueller. Shout out to him. He's a guy that posted on this thread. Just wanted to say you're looking great, aesthetic as hell, and you've been growing like a freaking weed, dude. Shout out to Swift. First question looks like it comes from a guy named Nick, and he's wondering. He saw me say that I was doing 800 calories per week by doing cardio. He's wondering what that entails. So I guess what type of cardio? Basically what I'm doing for the most part is low / medium intensity cardio. I'd say it's in between the two. I usually just do the Stairmaster, the rotating stairs. I'll do that for however long it takes to burn 400 calories. Do that twice a week. I prefer to separate it from my workouts. So instead of working out and directly doing cardio, I do my cardio at night, separate from the workout. And I'll actually see if I can have Eric Helms explain why that may be more optimal than doing your cardio, say, directly after your workout. So, next person, got a question from Shano Man. He says, huge fan, Matt, love your channel. My question is, if I miss my macros one day while bulking, should I make up by adding macros the day after? Thanks, man. So, it's like with any sort of macro situation, it's like the answer could always be yes or no, to be honest. Even when you're cutting, right? Say today I go over my fats, right? Tomorrow I could go underneath my fats to, I guess, technically counteract that. But it's almost like, especially when you're bulking, it's almost like, why does it even matter? I mean, the best way to stay on your macros is to actually hit your macros, to have the discipline and actually hit those damn things rather than play catch up. Because I know a lot of guys will be like, oh fuck, I'm gonna binge my ass off today, and they'll be like, oh, okay, it's cool, just because for this next week I'm gonna adjust my macros, and technically it'll be like it never happened. Well, I think honestly the best way to go is to just hit the macros that you set for yourself, do the best that you can. Don't beat yourself up if you don't hit your macros. If you go under or over, don't kill yourself. Just try your best to actually hit them. And that's that. If you miss your macros when you're bulking, should you make up for them the day after? Ask yourself what's more important, because chances are if those macros that you're on is already at a surplus, if you have an even greater surplus for any specific day, that's just extra calories that are unnecessary technically. So if you're already at a surplus at 2,000 calories, why do you need to be at an extra surplus at 2,100? Okay, just because you went at 1,900 yesterday, that might have put you at a maintenance or a slight cut. So be it. There's no reason to put yourself into fat gaining mode just because you didn't eat enough one day. Okay, at least that's what my opinion is for that. Don't make it a huge deal. Hit your macros, and especially if you're bulking. If you accidentally cut for a day, if you're accidentally at maintenance for a few days, maybe in a week, so be it. Just hit your macros. Blah, blah, blah. We got a question from Sando. And his question is, how do you have enough energy to work 6 days of the week as well as juggling school and YouTube? I work out 4 days a week, and every month I find myself quite run down and I need a few days off. First, I think just sleep really matters. If you're not getting enough sleep, you're going to feel like shit no matter what. So make sure you're getting a lot of sleep, drink a lot of water, eat foods that make you feel good, don't masturbate too much, and when it comes to working out, don't work out directly for the goal of failure. You know, work out to get stronger, work out for better performance, especially in the lower rep ranges. Don't work out for failure. You're going to burn yourself out. And if you're working out 6 days a week and it feels like it's too much for you, that you have to take a week off, maybe that's too much of a frequency for you. Maybe you need to calm that down a little bit. And maybe you might need to start applying deload weeks to completely avoid those times where you have to take full weeks off. Okay. A lot of people out there say, "Oh, I hate deload weeks, this and that." Personally, I love deload weeks. I think it can go either which way. It really isn't a huge deal. But I never run into those weeks where for a full week I feel like utter shit. I have days where I might feel like shit, but since I apply deload weeks, try to get as much sleep as possible, I'm usually having great workouts year round. So, Tony Folly, the odds. We got a question from Mellow1. He says, just giving me some props here. One question: the medicine ball you use to warm up, how much does it weigh, and do you know its diameter? To be honest, no, I don't. He's asking a question about, because I do some medicine ball drills, for me at least, involving kind of just cracking my back in this sort of direction and that sort of direction, where I just sit on a ball, my glute, and I just crack my back one way, crack my back the other. It really doesn't matter. I just find a really, really hard ball to do that. Another way that I can get that done is in my car before I get out of it to go to the gym. I'll just lean over to one side, crack my back, lean over to the other side, crack my back. That gets the job done. And honestly, I've kind of switched over to using a foam roller more than the medicine ball. I found a preference of foam roller over the medicine ball, to be honest. Shout out to everyone giving me love here. Brian, Nico, what's Scully's real name? Stefan, right? Steven?
Steven, yeah.
Steven Baker? Steven?
Something like that.
Steven, yeah. Something like that. D. Watson. What do you do for cardio when you cut down? Last contest season I did both high intensity and low intensity cardio. For the most part, it was like a 2-to-1 ratio. I was doing 2 low intensity sessions per week, 1 10-round interval training session on the treadmill. That's what I used last time, and towards the end of that prep I had like 2 high intensity and 3 low intensities per week. During this prep we currently have me at 2 400-calorie low/medium intensity sessions per week, and we're going to keep it there as long as possible. We might have to eventually make it 3 sessions or throw in HIIT, which we probably won't until the end. So we may start increasing cardio maybe January or February, but as is, I'm doing pretty good. Like this morning I weighed in at 190.2, and last Monday I was about 192-ish, so did pretty well this week. Owner Miller, showing me love. Poncho, shout out to you. Dukenheimer is talking about 531 here. Good to see a respectable young natty bodybuilder. If I recall correctly, you run a modified 531. Bro, I did run a modified 531. That was several months ago. Does heavy pressing give you shoulder issues? He recently ran Westside Barbell for a meet last week, and his shoulders are all jacked up. Any advice for shoulder health? Didn't Bryce Lewis suggest that I fix my shoulder internal rotation, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of increased that?
What was the problem?
Oh, with this guy or with me?
Yeah.
His shoulders are starting to hurt him from heavy pressing with 531 and powerlifting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you can recommend that video you made with your little shoulder yeah. If he's not warming up at all. Some
things that people totally fuck up on is, well, both the way they press, but also their warm-ups. They won't warm up like the rotation style function of the shoulder. They'll just do pressing. When in reality, you have this, you have this, you have this, you have this, and you have this, you have this, and they don't warm up any of that before their workouts. A lot of people aren't bench pressing with their shoulders back. They let them come forward. They're not keeping their shoulders packed when they're pressing. And personally, I didn't run into any heavy I didn't run into any shoulder issues when I was heavy pressing. But my basic tips are focus a lot on the warm-up, just super light. You can maybe try out my shoulder warm-up drill that I've done in a video before. I've noticed that helped me with my shoulders. I didn't have any problems after that. Shout out to Swole Animal, appreciate it. Shout out to SR Orbach. He's just welcomed you to the forums. Athens or Sparta? I don't know. Oh, here's a good question. What are your personal views on refeeds / cheat meals, and do you use them? Okay. So, refeeds and cheat meals, a lot of people assume that they're the same exact thing. They assume that they'll both get the job done equally, when in reality, it really just depends on your own goals. It depends on what you're going for. It depends on how serious you are. It depends if you're tracking your macros, any of that sort of stuff. Cheat meals is kind of a thing that that people borrowed from the average Joe, right? The average Joe diets without measuring anything. They'll completely cut out certain foods, just eat certain foods for the entire week. Perhaps lose weight, perhaps not. Do a shitload of cardio throughout the week, and on the weekend they'll party with their friends, drink a lot of alcohol, and eat what they consider cheat meals. So basically, whatever the fuck they want. As we know now, we can actually track these things. We can actually track both calories. We can track macronutrients. If you're a person who wants to actually reap the rewards of what a cheat meal or refeed is actually supposed to do for your body, then I'd say go for the refeed itself and not just the cheat meal. So, in other words, don't go and binge if you're someone who's trying to diet for a competition or a photo shoot or to get shredded or whatever. Also, it just depends on you and how serious you are for whatever your goal is. But say if you're someone like me and Lovato, where we're trying to get our pro cards in natural bodybuilding, we're going to go and do refeeds as opposed to cheat meals. So we pretty much do refeeds once a week. The higher body fat you are, the less necessary refeeds are going to be. But once you start getting lower, say less than like 20% body fat, you may want to be applying refeeds. If you're like obese, you don't really need refeeds. But the thing about a refeed is that it's a calculated splurge of, not a splurge, a calculated increase in your calories, and specifically you'd want your carbs to be increased for a refeed. Basically to keep your metabolism running as efficiently as possible during your cut. And do I use them? Yes, I use them currently once a week, though we'll see if we increase that amount during our prep. I prefer to use refeeds because they're simply more effective, etc. Cheat meals, if you're not counting your macros, like Chris Jones said, you ain't macking no hoes. So that's that. Shout out to Lift for Fit. Lift for Fit said, "Why did you shave your head? I liked your hair before." To be honest, guys, I have a huge thing with my hair. It's like we can all agree that I was born with shitty hair, okay? Like, I have a horrible hairline that makes it look bad no matter if it's long or short. So it's always this conflict. It's like, do I want it to look like shit short, or do I want it to look like shit long? I prefer short because at least when it's short, I don't have to worry about washing it all up in my face and all that. So at least it's a comfortable look like shit. When it's long, I look like shit and it's uncomfortable. So that's why I cut it. Here's a question about... Let me bring the camera closer. We got Lovato over there. Where is he? Dude, where are you?
See me?
Dude, I can't even see you.
Covering some legal shit.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to finish this up real quick. We got a question from SR Orbach 0808. He wants to know if I'm on a... he knows I'm on a legs push-pull split. He knows I just changed to a hypertrophy mixed with strength week legs push-pull split. please share the secrets to your routine. Really no secrets. I do 6 workouts hypertrophy based, followed by 6 workouts strength based, and it just goes back and forth. And every fourth week, a week being 6 workouts, is a deload, where volume is cut by a third, and the weights are dropped by like 20%. Boom. That's my secret. There's really no secrets. What has been your most effective diet training strategy for you while cutting for competition? By Rockefeller61. The most effective diet training strategy for me, I think currently is the most effective training strategy, just alternating my strength and hypertrophy weeks. The same thing I did as last year. The thing with this year is I'm actually writing down on the computer into a Excel spreadsheet all of my lifts, so I can easily access the different lifts and how my strength is, see if it's going up, going down, or what. So I can really focus on keeping strength as high as possible. In terms of diet, doing the same thing I did last year, macro counting. This year I'm doing, at least so far, I've been doing completely freestyle, and I'm hitting macros perfectly. I think those are the 2 main things, right? Keeping track of the weights you're lifting so that you can stay as strong as possible, if not gain strength. Keep in mind you're going to eventually start having to drop volume. In terms of diet, count macros and eat as much food as possible while still getting the results that you're looking for. Here we go. I have Kickin' Chicken. Shout out to you. Shout out. I'm just reading some of his comments. Okay. From Nico436, he says, "Hey Matt, I followed you for a bit now since I first saw your interview on here. My cousin and I that live and train together competed a month back, and he won his IFPA Pro card. That's awesome. He ended up bouncing his ideas back and forth off Eric last few weeks of his prep. Just wanted to wish you good luck on your upcoming season and take it to Chris Jones on behalf of Simply Shredded. You guys know I will. Look forward to your video and shoutouts." Okay. Next question is from Tony Foley himself. He said, "Hope you can answer this question in the video. Who are your favorite athletes / role models?" Start with the athletes one. My favorite athletes are the ones that I've actually met. I feel like I connect a lot more with the people I've met more than the people that I haven't. The 3DMJ guys are all really stand-up guys. All the guys who I've met through this network are really awesome, and to be honest, they are some of my favorite athletes. This is the sport that I can relate to the most. I know everyone has their Michael Jordans and all that, but in terms of bodybuilding, the people that I've met personally in this network of 3DMJ are my favorite athletes. And pretty much that's that. Big fan of both you and POG. Hope you guys stick around. How often do you train to failure? I never train for failure. And I train to failure as little as possible just because it's not something that you actually want to do.
Hey, quit being a little bitch! August cake!